If you remember my model face sync node I spoke about that I created for Comfy UI workflows, that breaks down the workflow into sections. So it loads the models one by one and completes them before moving on to the next model. Clip first, then finishes with that, then the diffusion, then finishes with that, then the Vi. I have been using it for some time and I realized it wasn't as optimized as I wanted it to be. So what I ended up doing was I split everything. So now I have one workflow that is specifically solely for conditioning, so that's with the clip, one workflow that's solely specifically for diffusion, so that's the diffusion model, and then the final workflow that's solely specifically for the Vi, so Vi encode, Vi decode. It's been a wonder. It's worked wonderfully so far. So basically what happens is I have a batch of images that I want to generate. I start up a batch script basically. All the conditioning files are generated. So it goes through, generates all the conditioning files so that the conditioning model is loaded once, generates all the conditioning files, and then it's unloaded. We don't need it anymore. Then it moves on to the next workflow, which is the diffusion. The diffusion takes the conditioning file and then, all the other connections within the workflow, and then creates the latent file. So it takes all the conditionings and then creates all the latents for the conditionings. So at the end of it, you have a multitude of files in your folder. From there, it moves on to the third stage, which is the Vi stage. So Vi decode, it takes all the latents and then prepares the actual .png or .jpg or whatever file format. It prepares the actual image files for the generation. So it's split into 3 stages. The model loads once and it finishes its work and then it's done completely. I needed to modify the custom node I made, which is the model face sync. So now there's a load conditioning node, there's a save conditioning node, there's a load latent node, and there's a save latent node. So that's how I was able to actually achieve this, and it's been a great game changer for me. So if anyone is looking to optimize their Comfy UI workflows, you could use my setup. You just need to drop in the nodes. You could use my custom node. You just need to load in the nodes, drop in the nodes, and then you can split your workflow into sections so that you just need to use one model at a time. The loading and unloading of the models, especially on tight VRAM, is what actually also adds to the amount of time your image generation takes. So the more you can reduce those steps, the faster your generation is going to be overall.